And now, live from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan, it's your boys, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means.
That's right, it's voice acting night, baby.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. After tonight and starting tomorrow afternoon, myself and the fabulous one, Scotty Freytown from the Outside Blitz, will be heading down to the Indianapolis. Okay, let me start that over again. Heading to Indianapolis for the NFL Scouting Combine. And then our dear brother here, The Package, will be joining us on Friday. So it's going to be a very fun-filled weekend, and we will recount all of our hijinks on the Outside Blitz, which you can get on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you find your podcasts. A proud partner of Steel Twins Gaming, and always keep an eye out for Nostalgic Mondays. That's going great. Oh, yeah. That's going hot. I watched that Donkey Kong Country stream and brought back a lot of fuzzy memories. Warm, fuzzy memories, I should say. And, all of our usual shows as well. So, anytime.
Yeah, speaking of shows, I do have a couple of announcements to make. So it will be, so I may throw in an extra special pre-combine stream tomorrow, and I think it may have something to do with, how do you say, Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit. I'm going to be a cop, and I'm going to chase down speeders.
Yes.
That should be fun.
That's a lot. That's a fun game. That's a lot of fun to do.
So if I get into that, it could be about 8:30 or 9 or so. So, yeah, you can definitely tune in to that. If not, not. Otherwise, we, of course, will be taking a break from the streaming. We'll be back at you on the block on Monday, March the 3rd. For the next Donkey Kong Country chapter. Entrant, yeah. And don't forget, yes, the next Monday, March the 10th, it is a very special Mario Day edition of Nostalgic Monday. I will be streaming, and how I don't know how we'll go about doing that. Maybe I'll have someone collaborate with me. I think I'll try and get some other streamers to collaborate with me and join me on an epic Mario adventure. Maybe if I just get started with good old-fashioned Super Mario Brothers, and we're going up to Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3 and Super Mario World and all that stuff. Just a bunch of Mario games all day long. So how long do you think I will go? Maybe about 12 hours or so. Who knows? It could even be a charity stream. We'll have to put our heads together and keep you up to date on that.
Yeah, we got less than 2 weeks though, so those gears had better be turning.
So, yes.
Okay, so I think we're done with the announcements, are we not? I think we only have one thing left to do. Go ahead and grab your favorite beverage. Ours is the Purple Haze Bang tonight. If you have a cap to your bottle or a pin on your can, you go ahead and pull that pin back or twist that cap off.
With a twisty twist,
See, now you're getting it. Hey, Package. What time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Ooh, that is cold. Just the way I like it.
Yeah, buddy.
All right,
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, me too. Live scene. I should have hung out there for a little bit, but no big deal. So if you've been following us from our last stream, we have some developing news. The president of Zheng Fa has visited the United States, but an attempt has been made on his life. But he got away without a scratch. But one of his bodyguards, Bastian Rook, took the bullet and quite literally, and saved the president. And his other bodyguard, codenamed Knight, I don't know what his first name is, but you know, he tried to tell us to you know, pee off, to go away. But an old adversary from the Ace Attorney series, especially if you watch the Justice for All series, we got face to face with legendary assassin Shelley DeKiller. What?
What?
So now we're boarding the president's plane. We may even get to speak to him about the events of this day. So we're going to get to the truth. Latter, a new development. It is episode 1, Turnabout Trigger.
Time to earn your bread, Miles Edgeworth.
Okay. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, which is kind of the way I like to do this. I love to be surprised.
With the death of Bastion Rook and the revelation that Shelley DeKiller was in our midst, the case had taken a turn we could have never predicted. Mr. Knight ordered that the door to the presidential plane be opened, and the emergency personnel attending to Mr. Rook's body were asked to leave. With the scene cleared, we stepped cautiously aboard.
Oh, Jesus. So he died in the plane?
March 25th, 4:15 p.m., Zheng Fa, presidential plane.
Or maybe they dragged the body into the plane. Oh, poor dude. All right.
No president in sight. Now, where could he be?
Who knows?
So he is hiding behind the bulkhead door over there, is he? As courageous in the face of danger as ever.
Sorry to disappoint, but did you seriously expect him to be standing here waiting to meet his assassin?
As we have already established, my interest lies only in the successful conclusion of this investigation.
Yeah, but what's your gambit, pal? Huh?
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, if you will be so kind as to examine the body. All right. My only option right now is to play along. The rest is up to you, Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, boy. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yep. So the attempted assassination of the president has become the murder of a bodyguard.
You look like you could use a little. You look like you could use a little help there, Mr. Edgeworth.
Not that I need it, but yes.
So he does need help. Okay.
That's what I thought. Then there's nothing else for it. Kay Faraday, great thief extraordinaire. We'll just have to take it from there.
Oh, really? You mean you're going to solve the case for me?
Nope.
I thought not.
But I will provide vital assistance. Now let's get to scouring this crime scene from top to bottom.
Yeah, how much you want to bet Little Thief is going to be in play here?
It will take Detective Gumshoe a while to assemble our backup. So I'll need to draw this part of the investigation out for as long as possible. Begin investigation, Zheng Fa, presidential plane.
Well, let's do the first thing here. Look at the body.
I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Or else, I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
Well, the first thing I want to look at is look at this bullet hole.
The bullet seems to have entered just under his armpit and went clean through his body.
The bullet
passed through the victim. Where did it end up?
Maybe it hit the balloon.
He was hit in an area his bulletproof vest didn't cover.
Like it was on purpose or something, huh?
The cause of death would appear to be loss of blood. Attempts were made to snatch it, but to no avail.
Stanch, but still.
Stanch it, but to no avail. Crime scene notes jotted down on my organizer. The victim bled to death from a gunshot wound to the torso. The bullet passed clean through his body.
Medics must have been brought in to try and save him.
Sadly, it was too little, too late.
Okay, so there's that. Let me take a look at him.
It's the victim, Mr. Bastian Rook, bodyguard to the president of Zheng Fa.
He's one of the guys that brought the president inside as soon as the shooting started.
Which means he continued to do his duty right up until his dying breath.
So then the question I have to ask is, when did the fatal bullet, when was it fired from the gun, and when did it hit Bastian Rook? Because there were 2 shots fired, remember? And I think the second shot came from a gun. It might, you know what? Knight might be our killer. He might. Because I mean, it's a long shot, but this is Ace Attorney, okay? I've done enough of these cases to think that it's somebody that's in the field of play, and Knight could have easily, in the chaos, pulled a gun and shot him in the armpit. He could have,
right?
But
At least he'll get posthumously promoted.
Posthumously, but yes, that's fine.
Kay, it's better to know when to say nothing at all than to end up with your foot in your mouth.
Sage advice.
What do you mean?
I mean, bodyguards don't even operate on the same rank promotion system as the police in the first place.
Yeah, and in the second place, why would you say something like that?
Is it a trapdoor?
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay. Let me discover it on my own, dang it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the gun.
So the victim was also carrying a revolver.
It looks like he was trying to use it.
He probably drew it on instinct when he felt threatened. We should check to see if he managed to fire any rounds off.
That's probably true.
All there, and no other signs of the weapon haven't been used. Was this one on loan from Zheng Fa too?
Yup, sure was. We're always issued with the same model gun. Oh.
6-shot revolver on loan from Zheng Fa has not been fired.
Oh, so remember that if the same model gun was used to kill him, that'll be even more. We got to find that bullet. Yeah, and that does. Now that you mention it, the section of carpet looks off here.
There are 2 large rectangles cut into the floor here. I can see hinges through the gaps.
It's an emergency entrance disguised as an emergency exit. All the president would need to do is lower his rope ladder and make his miraculous escape.
Which would make it an exit, not an entrance. So which is it?
Well, how about this? I say that it's an entrance so that he can hide during the shooting and then come back out after everything's all clear. Anyway.
It's an exit, but it's used as an entrance, but disguised as an exit. Yeah. I think.
Congratulations. You've even confused yourself. That's quite the achievement.
Okay, what's this doing here?
It's a bulletproof attaché case. Bodyguards use them to shield their clients from gunfire. There were some in Kay's photograph too. Looks like Rook and Knight each had one.
Hey, wait! Just look at the way his hand is positioned. Look, I'm telling you, Knight's our guy. We gotta prove it. We gotta prove it. Anyway.
Yep. Bulletproof attaché case, data jotted down in my organizer. Designed to provide protection from gunfire. Knight and Rook were each issued one.
Oh, hey! That's the photo I snatched.
You can hardly steal a photo at a public event, Kay.
But I'm snatching up a moment in time with every picture I take, you know.
Is she a kleptomaniac or something? Jeez.
I take it snatch is your new favorite word?
And by the way, phrasing!
Maybe.
And you, listen, this is a kid's game, okay? Get your head out of the gutter.
No, it's not.
No, I'm just saying here, Hey, you said it, not me. Okay, so we're done with this area. So but let's take a look at the desk. See, there's something here.
I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. And I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
Oh boy. Well, check this out. Here's a bullet.
That looks heavy. So this is what a president wears, huh? Must be made of something super special.
Yes, to protect him from bullets.
What? So it's not just for show?
Of course not. This is a bulletproof vest found on desk as a bullet lodged in it. Is it the president's?
Oh, so that's what one of those looks like. Why didn't you just say so? Now I feel silly.
Jeez. Okay, so it did make a note of the fact. It did make a note of the fact that there's a bullet lodged in it. So that's good news. All right. Okay, I want to look at these papers.
Documents of some kind.
We can always steal a glance?
Another security plan.
Now,
Also covered in case amphibious assault.
the president's safety
Amphibious.
is paramount. Spectator areas should be covered at all times. Now check it out, though. Look at this one. Less cover for Lakeside now. Eyes on this area. Rook repositioned in light of Knight's injury. Knight to immediately escort President to plane in case of emergency. Stay frosty. We know who might be in the audience. That was March 24th. This one was March 19th. Remember, they were switched. So, anyway.
Oh yeah, like the one from the trash can.
Precisely. But wait, something feels off.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess we could say it's this because they switched. I mean, let's just go with the obvious.
Eureka! The two planes are different. The two plans are different. Was the security detail reorganized at some point?
Or maybe you could have used any point on that thing, really.
Huh? Oh, you're right.
Yeah, we made some last-minute changes yesterday. President's orders.
Why the urgency?
Because of what happened the day before. DeKiller here tried to take him down. He infiltrated the security detail, posed as one of us. Rook figured it out first, but not before the guy got within striking distance of the president. What the fuck? If our leader hadn't stepped in just then, we'd all have been out of a job. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
boy.
So he is after the president. But he made it. And our friend here wound up with a seriously twisted arm. Rook put a bullet in it. Rook put a bullet in it for good measure, too.
And where were you while this was happening?
You were the first one I overpowered, were you not?
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Shut up, kid.
Now I get it. Your neck has barely begun to heal and you've already forgotten who I am. I'm disappointed.
Well, it's you. Busted up my neck so bad I can't even look to my right.
That's gonna be important.
Now wait a second. Hang on. Is it? Yeah, he's looking to his. Yeah, so he can't look to his right. So maybe. How much you want to bet this was an accident? Like he tried to turn his head, but he couldn't turn it, and he ended up shooting his guy in the armpit. Shit. That sucks.
Boy.
Anyway.
I was somewhat astonished to have sustained an injury at all. A testament to Mr. Rook's skill. He was truly a master of his craft. Unlike a certain other someone I could mention.
Jeez, he's just roasting him. Huh. I'm just as good as he ever was.
You were a pawn to his queen, my young friend.
What the heck do you know?
So that's why you remembered Mr. Rook's name? You admired his skills as a bodyguard? Indeed. While I was serving on the team, I learned the names of all the operatives. But his in particular stayed with me. It joined the very short list of those who have ever successfully wounded me. So that's the connection he was talking about.
Well, that's mystery solved.
And that's why we changed up the security plan. Had to be sure there weren't any more assassins in the ranks. The president didn't want anybody on stage he didn't trust. And he only trusts two people, me and Rook.
Security plan data updated in my organizer. Diagrams of the president's security arrangements, which were changed only yesterday.
And get this, you know, see all the pawns that were on the board, but then it was only the rook and the knight. So, man, I wonder if that was just a part of the master plan.
How does that explain your change of position?
Oh yeah, he switched over to the right-hand side.
I told you, I can't turn my neck to the right. Can only cover the president's left side. So I wound up moving to the right side of the stage.
Knight can't turn his head to the right, so he was moved to the right side of the stage.
All right. Can we try to put some of this stuff together?
Oh, yeah, I'll try.
Assassination attempt, bulletproof vest, rook's gun, knight's position, bullet through the body. So, can we try this? It might not work.
Oh, it did!
Yes. 2 bullets were fired in total. We know this because 2 shots were heard. One traveled through the flag and into the balloon. The other took Mr. Rook's life.
But there's a bullet in the president's vest too, right? How is that possible?
How indeed. The numbers don't add up. However, there is one possible explanation.
There is?
After passing through his body, the bullet that took Mr. Rook's life then found itself lodged in the vest.
Okay.
In other words, 2 of our bullets were in fact 1.
No way.
He's right. If the president hadn't been wearing that vest, things could have been a lot worse.
And he wasn't injured at all by the impact? Even when obstructed by a vest, a bullet can inflict serious damage.
Sure, I've known guys who got broken bones that way, but the president's okay. He's made of strong stuff.
Sounds like he didn't even need a vest.
Yes, he did.
Let's not get carried away here. I want that bullet's ballistic markings analyzed.
Remind me what those are again?
Those are rifling marks, kid.
Guns leave a unique pattern of grooves on every bullet they fire. By examining these grooves, we can use them to identify which gun it came from. Think of them as fingerprints of a sort.
You can tell all that from a bullet? Then what are we waiting for? Analyze away.
Might be easier said than done. That bullet hit solid armor. The impact will have completely flattened it. You'll be lucky if there's anything left for forensics to find.
What? But I was all set for some analyzing.
Bulletproof vest data jotted down on my organizer. Stop the bullet that passed through the victim. The bullet itself was crushed flat by the impact.
Okay, let's see. Rook's gun, 6-shot revolver. Okay, so let's connect these 2. Oh, hey, wait a minute.
Are they the same gun?
Who knows?
Oh, look at that. Hey, Alex Michael, thanks for liking the stream.
Yay! The 2 guns are exactly the same, meaning it's likely that the one we found is also from Zheng Fa. Revolver data updated my organizer. Found in the trash can on the left side of the spectator area. 2 spent bullets, same model as the victims.
The bodyguards all got their guns from the Zheng Fa authorities, right?
Yes.
Are they, like, super rare or anything?
No, I don't believe so. This model isn't exactly easy to come by in this country, but it's certainly not impossible either.
Boo! And here I thought they might be valuable treasures.
Yes, it is something of a shame.
Whoa! I just mentioned treasures, and you actually responded for once.
I only mean to point out that if the guns were rarer, it would be much easier to trace them, which would have made them treasures of the evidence variety, I suppose.
Ha! See? Everything's a treasure hunt one way or another, including this investigation.
You could say that.
All right then, it's treasure hunting time. On with the investigation.
She certainly seems a lot more enthusiastic all of a sudden.
All right, so yeah, we found out a lot of stuff. Knight's position, assassination attempt. Nope. Okay, so let's just keep looking.
These personal safety alarms are very colorful. Looks like they get a lot of use as well.
I like the president. He seems like a thoughtful guy. Buying these for his kids, maybe his wife too.
Why would they all be here if that was the case? No, these are for his own personal use.
Objection, Your Honor. It is simply not possible for one person to use this many personal alarms. Why, you ask? Because he is human and therefore possesses only 2 hands.
20 hands wouldn't be enough to count the number of objections I have to that objection.
Okay, what's this thing?
A curious figure of a curious animal with a curious expression is staring straight at me.
And look, there's a big lever right by its butt.
Don't even think about it.
Oh, I wasn't thinking anything, I swear.
I imagine that lever opens the panels beneath my feet. Ah, I see. So he's standing on a trap door. I strongly advise you not to pull it. Do so and you will regret it. You know, I'm okay with taking some advice, especially when it's from a professional killer.
How does he know that opens the trap door, though? That's curious. Okay, so this is all
now
done.
check the monitors. I think there may be damage over there. Check the monitors on the right side.
Yeah, those look like security cameras.
Hey, wait a second. It's a bank of monitors displaying camera feeds from in and around the plane.
There's like a toy with a horn sticking out of the side, but where is it? I don't know. Anyway. Oh.
I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
Well, why don't we take a look at this one? Because obviously this one's busted.
These monitors are displaying the cockpit and parts of the plane's exterior. But I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
I do.
Look at the see
what
that?
Is this guy?
What on earth is this?
And where is that, pray tell?
Oh, it's the president's favorite plushie. It's a memento of something. Anyway, don't touch.
But if that's the case, then why has it been
Left up there like nobody cares about it? Yeah, that is pretty weird.
It certainly wouldn't be the first place I would think to display a beloved item. Wait, are those shards of glass underneath it? I thought something seemed strange about this cubbyhole, but now I'm sure of it. There was almost certainly another monitor here.
Oh, fooled my ass.
Security monitors data jotted down on my organizer. Screens showing footage from in and around the aircraft. One monitor is missing.
So what monitor would that be? I mean, okay.
Man, I have no idea.
Uh-oh.
That's quite enough investigating for now. What is taking so long, Detective Gumshoe? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, have you solved the case?
No.
Not yet. No, not yet. Is that so? Then perhaps interviewing another key witness might help you to do so. Another witness? Who?
Probably the president.
You don't mean...
The most important witness of all. The man on the other side of that door. He really intends to have me question the president? Now, if you would be so kind as to summon him, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop right there, DeKiller. You're nuts if you think I'd let him anywhere near you.
Well, Mr. President, I'm sure you are watching us through your security feed, aren't you? In which case, I politely request that you show yourself. That is, if you value your bodyguard's life. Well then, if nothing else, we know now what kind of a man you really are.
But Mr. President, stop. You can't do this. Let's all just calm down, all right?
Come on, detective. Where the blazes are you?
Uh-oh.
The lights! What's happening? Listen well, Mr. Edgeworth. I would advise you to stay very still. It seems I will not be granted my audience with the president after all. Even with Mr. Knight's life as my bargaining chip.
No, stop.
Kay! You won't get away with this, DeKiller! I have seen enough, and now I know the truth. Where are you? Where did you go? I leave the rest in your capable hands, Mr. Edgeworth.
Okay, what's going on? Worth. Mr. Edgeworth!
Detective Gumshoe?
Sir! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! I guess night's okay.
March 25th, 4:45 p.m., Zheng Fa presidential plane. I must have been knocked unconscious.
Sir, you're okay.
Are you alright, Mr. Edgeworth?
Never mind me. He didn't hurt you, did he, Kay?
Nah, I'm fine. Only just woke up myself. My head will be sore for a while, but that's about it. So you can stop worrying.
Detective, did you manage to stop the killer?
Well, see, Ms. Lloyd came running out of the plane, and, she told us he'd flown the coop. We were too late. I'm sorry, sir. Bodyguard over there told us something, too. Seems there's an inflatable boat missing from by the window. The killer must have stolen it and rowed himself across the lake.
What about the cordon around the park?
I called everybody back in to stake out the plane, including the guy stationed across the water.
No! So he's completely slipped through our fingers?
Not the best look for the department, but yeah.
Hey, Edgeworth.
Mr. Knight, you're alive.
Yeah, no thanks to that murderer.
Oh, that reminds me. I found this lying on the ground next to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
A calling card marked with a seashell.
Yep,
Oh, boy.
the signature calling card. Guess he wanted to leave a message.
calling card data jotted down on my organizer, left behind by the assassin Shelley DeKiller when he made his escape, adorned with this distinctive seashell emblem. DeKiller usually leaves these next to the bodies of his victims.
But you're not dead, sir.
But I could have been. Maybe that's the message. I can't stop thinking about his parting words. I have seen enough, and now I know the truth. I leave the rest in your capable hands, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, boy. And now I know the truth. The truth about what?
Roger that. All clear out here, sir. Over.
What's going on?
That was the president. He's coming out.
Now?
All right, here we go. The size of this dude.
So he's the president of Zheng Fa, Mr. Zheng Wang.
And you are?
It's an honor to meet you, Mr. President. My name is Miles Edgeworth.
The honor is all mine, Mr. Edgeworth. I am Zheng Wang. Your efforts on behalf of Zheng Fa have not gone unnoticed. You averted something of a crisis.
He must be referring to the Yatagarasu case. Thank you, sir. But all I did was solve a few local cases of murder.
You are too humble. I've been observing your investigation. You are an impressive operator, Mr. Edgeworth. Even if the killer did get away.
That's very kind of you to say. So he was watching through his security feed.
Sadly, I must inform you that this is as far as your investigation goes.
Huh? What do you mean?
Hear me, foolish prosecutor, for I shall say this only once. Night has apprised me of the state of affairs. And from this point forward, the case will be handled by Zheng Fa's police force, the finest in the world.
Even with the killer out of the picture, they're still looking to get me thrown off the case?
What do you think you're doing, pal? Nobody talks to Mr. Edgeworth like that. If it hadn't have been for him, the killer would have...
Detective! Forgive him, Mr. President, but I must confess to being somewhat confused. I fail to see how or why this case falls within Zheng Fa's jurisdiction.
You failed to see? Enough, puny prosecutor! You seek explanations from a head of state? I say no! 1,000 times no! I will not explain myself to you! Now hand over the evidence you have gathered and remove yourselves from this plane!
I'd do as he says if I were you, Edgeworth.
This can't really be the end of the line, can it?
Hold it. I guess so. Case evidence handed to Mr. Knight. I guess so.
Oh boy. Yep. Why? Why let us come so far only to pull the case out from under us?
Now you may leave. Knight, detain the suspect.
Yes, sir. Right away.
To make an attempt on my life? To murder one of my people's servants? The effrontery! The villainy!
I didn't murder nobody. Because
Shut your mouth, Miss Journalist.
Answer me this. In a world already lousy with lies, with deception, with sin and iniquity. Can we stand by if something yet another crime to go unpunished? I say no, 1,000 times no. There can be no forgiveness. There can be no surrender. Why, you ask me? Then I will tell you.
He's hiding something, I'm certain of it. And if I leave now, we'll never know the truth.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Mr. Mr. Edgeworth, there's gotta be something we can do.
Think, Miles. Remember, how many times have you faced situations like this in the courtroom? You've confronted the lies of witnesses and countered the arguments of other lawyers. Has the critical evidence always been laid at your feet? No. And yet you always got to the truth of the situation in the end. With your greatest weapon of all, your words. Yep, time once again for Mind Chess. Yep. Now, let us analyze the state of play.
Be gone, puny prosecutor, or do you dare defy the direct order of a president?
He's not going to listen. He clearly means to drown out any objection by means of pure rhetorical force. When an opponent is on the offensive, the best thing I can do is bide my time and wait for an opening. As he said himself, he's a head of state, a seasoned politician. He won't open himself up to attack easily. I can't let him bully me into submission. I have to stay calm and alert. If I can read his movements and expressions correctly, I may be able to find my moment. My first aim should be to find out why he is insisting on Zheng Fa taking over the case. The board is set. Time to make my opening gambit. You know what time it's for? Mind Chess, commence!
Yeah, baby. So, explain to me why so who will take over the case?
Please, about the case.
Did I give you permission to speak? No! 1,000 times no!
Bide my time.
I am the leader of Zheng Fa. I have no time for your insolent backchat.
I was simply hoping to confirm one basic fact. You say that the investigation will now be assigned to your national police force?
I do. Now enough of your pointless questions.
Bide my time. just wait.
Good boy. The interior of this plane is the sovereign territory of Zheng Fa. You have no rights here.
Is that so? Could it be that our current location itself is significant somehow? I should keep that in mind. It could be a useful clue. Explain to me why I'm off the case.
I guess so.
Could you at least explain to me why I'm off the case?
Imbecile! Cease your insolent jabbering! I need not explain myself to you. My reasons are my own, and they are none of your concern.
Perhaps it's time to employ my clue. Are they related to our current location? In the course of our conversation, I've deduced certain facts from your behavior, Mr. President. For example, you seem particularly aggressive when discussing our current location.
You smarmy smart aleck!
As you said yourself, the presidential plane is the sovereign territory of Zheng Fa. And from that, we can infer that you believe the rules of you believe the rules of extraterritoriality apply inside here. Is that correct?
Enough! Cease your objectionable whining!
So bide my time. That could be the wrong thing.
If you have nothing else to say, then stop wasting my time and get out of my sight!
Yeah, maybe there is such a thing as biding my time too much. Oops. I can't let him bully me onto the back foot. I have to stay calm and alert. If I can read his movements and expressions correctly, I may be able to find an opening.
So
explain to me why I'm off the case.
Boy, my clue.
Play the clue.
Are they related to our current location?
Huh? It's okay. That for believe the rules of we apply here.
Enough! Cease your objectionable whining!
Are things getting too hot for you?
You can rant and roar all you like, but you won't escape my scrutiny. It was unmistakable. The moment I mentioned extraterritoriality, you became visibly agitated. Ugh.
You think you're clever, don't you? Let me answer your little question. It's true. Extraterritoriality applies. Your laws mean nothing here. And why does that matter, you ask? It matters because it means you are powerless. You have neither influence nor authority here.
Interesting. So the extraterritoriality issue does have something to do with all of this. Let's dig a little deeper into the claim that the plane is sovereign territory, shall we? Refill! This next move will surely decide the victor. He may be the president, but nobody is untouchable. I just have to find the right angle of attack.
Okay. Does that rule
really apply here? You believe that extraterritoriality applies here, but can you prove it? Do you even understand what you are asking?
Try it again.
Do you even understand what you are asking?
Of course. If I didn't, I wouldn't ask it.
Have you no shame, calling into question the good word of one such as myself?
Oops, that was your...
Oh, that's okay.
Bide my time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
I have no more time for this. You clearly cannot be saved from your own foolishness.
You needn't worry about me. I'm not the one who needs saving. That would be Ms. Lloyd, the woman who is being wrongfully accused of this crime.
Your chivalry is admirable, but it changes nothing. Right to extraterritoriality cannot be denied. This is Zheng Fa!
If I want to take this any further, I'll need a clue of some kind. Let me try another tack for now. You've overplayed your hand.
Overplayed your hand.
Surely you see that you have overplayed your hand.
Nobody asks for your opinion. You need only obey me, nothing else.
Bide my time.
By my time.
Usually.
You dare tell me how to govern, how to lead? You dare contradict me?
On the matter of Miss Lloyd's guilt, yes, I do.
No, she is guilty. She is a culprit. There is nothing left to debate.
I still
have
have plenty to say. Oh, bide my time some more. That's what okay. We're waiting for a clue, an opening here.
Who else could have fired from outside the plane? There is no other viable suspect.
How does he even? Well, okay, wait, time out. No, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that somebody fired from outside the plane, but what does he mean by that? Let's impress him on that.
Fascinating. So he's claiming that Miss Lloyd fired at him from outside the plane? This could be a vital clue.
Okay, does that rule really apply here?
You believe that extraterritoriality applies here, but can you prove it?
Do you even understand what you are asking?
Of course. If I didn't, I wouldn't ask it.
Have you no shame calling into question the good word of one such as myself?
Bide my time.
I have no more time for this. You clearly cannot be saved from your own foolishness.
You needn't worry about me. I'm not the one who needs saving. That would be Miss Lloyd, the woman who is being wrongfully accused of this crime.
Your chivalry is admirable, but it changes nothing. The right to extraterritoriality cannot be denied. This is Zheng Fa!
Time to deploy my clue.
She fired at you. She fired at you from outside the plane?
I may not be able to call the extraterritoriality of the presidential plane into doubt. However, according to you, she shot at you from outside the aircraft, correct?
That means it's a U.S. case.
In which case, extraterritoriality could not possibly apply in this case. Your assertion is entirely without merit, and the detainment of Ms. Lloyd cannot be justified.
How could I have bested by a mere prosecutor when I am the president? The president!
Checkmate.
Got your
right.
ass.
Yep. Mind chess. Checkmate, bitch. I trust you won't mind if we continue our investigation now, Mr. President.
I hereby officially and unreservedly confer my approval. Consider it a gesture of the magnanimity and generosity for which my good office is known. Yes, for without noble acts such as these, unmistakably and irrefutably, for which reason we hereby... There can be no other outcome, for our goals are lofty, and our hearts... People of Zheng Fa, I swear to you here and now, this investigation will continue.
All that when he could have just said, "Okay, you got me."
Mr. Knight, if you would care to return the evidence.
Take it.
Case evidence retrieved from Mr. Knight.
We did it, Mr. Edgeworth.
We sure did. And now the investigation can continue.
Whatever. Enjoy your pocket full of pawns. I'll be over here enjoying how you put them into play.
Then you will definitely enjoy my next move. Mr. President, one more favor if you will be so kind.
What is it?
Could you please give us your testimony concerning the incident itself?
Now you want me to testify?
Whoa. That's your next move? If you want the president to testify, you'll have to take him to court.
All in good time, Mr. Knight. He will get his day in court soon enough. But if a person of interest refuses to cooperate at the investigative stage of the process, they are obliged to provide detailed justification as to their reasons for doing so.
That's...
What's the matter? Is there something you'd rather we didn't know?
Stand down, Knight. I'll do as the prosecutor asks.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Now listen, and listen well.
Oh boy,
All right.
Here we go.
Time for a little legal battle. President Wang's
Wang's
testimony.
Where was I when the incident occurred? The stage, of course. Suddenly, Rook and Knight jumps in front of me. Then, bang! A shot rang out, and a plain, unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby.
That could have been a blood stain, dude.
Not hesitating for an instant, my bodyguards tried to escort me back to the safety of the plane. Then, the second shot. The bullet went right through Rook and lodged itself in the bulletproof vest I was wearing.
All right, so it sounds in line with what we've discovered so far.
I guess if you look at it in one way, the president is also a victim here.
Yes, the victim of an attempted assassination. Rook was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But that makes it even weirder. Why would the target of a crime try to obstruct the investigation?
Because there's something to hide, naturally.
My guess is that there's something behind all this that he doesn't want made public.
A cover-up, huh? I knew there was more to this case than meets the eye.
And the president isn't the only one who knows the truth. Isn't that right, Mr. Knight? Time to get to the bottom of this once and for all. Well, this fight ain't over yet. It's just getting started.
Where was I when the incident occurred? The stage, of course. Suddenly, Rook and Knight jumped in front of me. Then bang! A shot rang out, and a plain, unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby.
Well, how do you explain this? Objection!
Okay, so I knew the samurai balloon was going to come into play.
You say it was a plain red balloon that burst, but I strongly beg to differ. Take a look at this. I think you'd agree that it's hardly plain, wouldn't you?
No! What? Who is that?
Oh, you should know.
Mr. President, meet the Steel Samurai. I would have hoped you might recognize him, especially if you were hoping to integrate yourself with the people of this country.
Ingratiate, but that's fine.
Ingratiate yourself with the people of this country.
Yeah, you need to watch the Gemma Ninja too. He's amazing.
So you see, the balloon that was struck by the bullet was anything but plain. It was, in fact, of the Steel Samurai.
So what, dude? I mean, he was getting shot at.
But the briefing mentioned 2 plain red balloons. And there they are, right on the security plan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh. So if we take a look at the March 24th plan, there's nobody. Okay, hang on. Okay, there's no real change, but I mean, the only real change is that there's no pawns. But okay, let's keep going.
There they are, right on the security plan.
They do look pretty plain, don't they? Just simple round balloons.
Knight, what is the meaning of this? Explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. President. It seems the Steel Samurai balloon was borrowed at the last minute, sir.
Borrowed?
More like stolen?
That's what we were told. Guess they only reported the incident to us bodyguards, though. Seems there was a little trouble here on site last night. One of the original balloons burst somehow.
Huh?
So they swapped it in as an emergency replacement?
Yeah, one of the stall holders happened to have it. From what I hear, he was more than willing to lend it out.
The stall holder. Now hang on a second. Can we take a look at this set of photos, specifically this one? The one where the guy in the red hood is running towards the hot dog stand? Maybe that's our perp. Anyway, because again, he said one of the stall holders happened to have it. I don't know. Let's keep going.
From what I hear, he was more than willing to lend it out. A very happy-go-lucky kind of guy, they said.
A happy-go-lucky stall holder with a Steel Samurai balloon to spare.
I hope to God it's not Larry Butts.
I hope not either.
They filled just the bottom part up with air to make it look like the other ornamental balloon.
Oh.
So, while it was a Steel Samurai balloon, it was made to look like a plain red one above water. Is that the long and short of it?
Knight, why was I not informed of this?
Sorry, sir. We didn't think it was a pressing issue.
And indeed, you saw it and knew no different, correct?
Yes, I suppose so.
Could he really have mistaken the Steel Samurai's pants for a plain red balloon?
Sure, if you saw that last picture.
Still, Mr. President, I struggle to see how you wouldn't have noticed something different about the balloon.
Of course.
What's that outburst for?
Now I remember. I could barely see the balloon.
You couldn't see it?
That's right. The wind was blowing too hard. The flags on the sides of the stage were flapping incessantly and blocking my view.
Hold on a second. Okay, so there he is with his fist in the air. I'm trying to see if there's like any evidence of like flags or anything.
Check the second photo of that group.
This guy here.
See that? You see that? Look to your right of that. Look to the right of that photo.
Yep, I see it. There's a little flag over there. So what he's saying is correct. But maybe that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, keep going.
Is that so?
Yes, those two flags, they were being blown back towards me.
Yes, that. So his account is correct here.
There would have been a strong wind blowing right around the time of the incident. Strong enough to blow the flags in just such a fashion. But does that conflict in any way with our understanding of the case?
I'm gonna say no, it doesn't. But what does story mode say? It does.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Mr. President. Your testimony has revealed yet another contradiction.
Yes?
Yes, a contradiction that could turn this entire case on its head. When I arrived on the scene, the wind had died down and the flags were resting calmly for the most part. But if the wind had previously been blowing the flags as the president describes, a certain piece of evidence suddenly takes on a very different meaning.
So let me see. President
Photos.
Sheng. Yeah, these photos here.
Yeah, especially the second one.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going.
Which piece of evidence contradicts the stated conditions of the stage at the time of the incident?
Let's try it.
No, that's not it. This is it. This piece of evidence is the key.
The thing that would turn the whole case?
On its head?
Sorry, Edgeworth. This gambit isn't working. I think you might have to tip your king.
Yeah. I have a piece of evidence that shows the conditions surrounding the exact moment of the shooting. I just have to compare it with what the president said.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right, hold on.
What's the story telling us if you're not sure?
Oh, it could be this one, because look at this. The two shots were fired from the left side of the spectator area, the bullet trajectory, and the flags were down. I think it is. Yeah, I was right.
Earlier, we deduced that the bullet that struck the steel samurai balloon
Punched a hole in the flag.
and the bullet that passed through the flag were one and the same. From these two things, we further deduced the trajectory that the bullet must have taken.
Oh, but maybe the wind was blowing.
And we concluded that our shooter must have fired from the left side of the spectator area. But if the flags were blowing as the president describes, our conclusion becomes quite different. Uh-oh.
No way! If the flags were pointed in the other direction...
Exactly. Our trajectory changes completely.
Yep.
And if we trace that trajectory back to its source, we can ascertain who really fired that shot.
Wait, but Mr. Edgeworth, that would mean...
Yes, I know. We may not yet understand the reason why, but it can only have been one person who did it. Who does the bullet's new trajectory implicate as the one that fired the shot?
Mr.
Bronco Knight. The person who fired that shot was none other than you, Mr. Knight.
God damn it, I knew there was something fishy about that. What?
The path from the balloon back to the flag leads directly to the spot where you were standing. Bullet trajectory data updated in my organizer. Extrapolations from the bullet trajectory suggest that Knight fired the shots that popped the balloon.
But the guy's one of the president's bodyguards. Why the heck would he go around shooting balloons?
This is absurd! What exactly are you trying to imply? That Mr. Knight, a man who has saved my life countless times, is my would-be assassin?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's an assassin, dude. His target was Mr. Rook from the Rip.
Seriously, Edgeworth, we've put up with a lot from you, but this? We're President Wang's bodyguards. We're the pieces put on the board to protect the king.
I'll handle this, Knight.
Sorry, sir.
Mr. Edgeworth, the wind was indeed blowing quite fiercely around the time of my speech. But the wind can pick up and die away in an instant, can it not? Therefore, I need proof. Proof that it was blowing hard enough to lift the flags during that crucial moment.
Oh, we got proof for you, Jack.
Yeah, now we're gonna get there. The first shot was fired right around the time the president raised his fist. I have a piece of evidence that shows just that. Perhaps it can also show us what's happening with the flag then, too. It's the photos right there. Yeah. Your proof is in this picture right here.
This should be good. Which picture? Where?
We can see which way the flag was really blowing. Right here.
Da, 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 da.
Take that! Take that! Well, do you deny that it clearly shows the flag? There we have it. Proof that it was blowing towards you at the moment of the shooting.
So that means our pal over there did shoot the balloon.
Making him the assassin?
No, I don't think so.
Mr. Knight
Is not the assassin.
Mr. Knight is not the assassin. He may have shot the balloon, but the president was on the other side of him entirely. Therefore, he can't have been aiming at his boss.
Yeah, besides, why would I even shoot the balloon? What would be the point? And watch how you answer, or I might aim for something else next.
There was a point, I'm sure of it.
A distraction.
If I can figure out what it was, perhaps I can finally put this whole conundrum to rest. Knight definitely shot the balloon. That fact alone changes everything about the case.
Okay, so Knight shot the balloon and Knight's position, right?
He can't turn his head to the right. Why did Knight's assigned position change?
I told you, I can't turn my neck to the right. Could only cover the president's left side. So I wound up moving to the right side of the stage.
But is that the only reason? Oh, hold on. Oh man, we totally missed Scott Ryan's chats. For a game so modern, the outfits are straight out of George Washington's closet. I'm currently learning the trajectory of future money shots with my wife. This game is very educational. Holy shit, President Wang is fucking jacked.
Yes,
That's the
he
tightest
is.
suit I've ever seen. The balloon and President Wang would be an outstanding trick shot in one bullet.
Yep.
Woo, Daddy, Scott Ryan, I can't believe I missed you, but thanks for joining in, my man.
Listen, you're the doofus in charge of the socials, doofus. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I was totally, I was so tight into the game, I didn't even see it.
Well, that's okay. We discovered them now. So,
Here we go. Let us suppose that the plan hadn't changed, that Knight had remained posted on the left. Given that he was unable to turn his head to the right, would he even have been able to shoot the balloon closest to him?
no, he wouldn't have.
Okay, so it's been 5 minutes since his first message, so it wasn't that far off. Could it be that the security plan was changed for the express purpose of popping one of the balloons? And if we suppose that to be the case, the two plans are different. Was the security detail reorganized at some point?
Yeah, we made some last-minute changes yesterday.
Oh no.
Yeah, doofus, don't lie. You were busy thinking about President Wang's Wang. God damn
boy.
it, Scott. Oh boy.
You'll be able to get your revenge this weekend when we invade the scouting combine. I can't wait for that, by the way.
Me
Yeah,
neither.
we made some last-minute changes yesterday. President's orders.
President's orders.
That's right. The president was the one who ordered the change.
Well, we don't think the president has anything bad to do about it.
Well, gotta connect the dots here. President was targeted during the speech, premeditated attack. If I'm reading things right, the president knew in advance about the balloon shooting, which means he must have had foreknowledge he would be in someone's crosshairs today as well. And if that's true, then everything else that's been bothering me falls neatly into place. How did the shooter get a gun past such heavy security? Listen to that music. I haven't heard that music before yet, but yeah. And why would they then carry out the shooting wearing such a conspicuous item of clothing? Why use a laser sight that would give away their location in an instant? And how did the president suffer no injuries at all, despite a direct hit to his vest? These are the questions that Knight and the president don't want us to consider. There is only one possible reason for Mr. Knight to have fired his gun. To create the illusion of an assassination attempt.
Oh, so there was no assassin. Oh.
What?
Huh?
Idiot. You do understand what you're saying.
Oh, I understand all too well. I understand everything now. Most of all, I understand why you were so keen to take this investigation off my hands, Mr. President. How'd they get past security? That's stuck in the old prison wallet. That's my guess.
Perhaps. There was a bag found at the crime scene.
Hold on a sec. You wanted your real plans to remain hidden.
How dare you speak to me that way? Is this some sort of sick joke?
Oh, it's no joke, I assure you. It is simply the truth, as revealed by the careful application of logic and reasoning. Nothing more. The first shot was fired by Mr. Knight with the specific intention of hitting that balloon. In the old prison wallet, that's it. The sound of gunfire and the bursting of the balloon were guaranteed to cause a panic. Makes total sense. And then he fired again.
He did?
Yes, he fired 2 bullets, both of which were aimed at the balloon.
No, they weren't. Anyway.
As for why he did so, it's because the second shot was designed to create the impression that the president had been hit.
So then, what's the deal with the one in the vest?
The vest was hidden. The vest was hidden in the balloon.
I'm willing to bet that that bullet was planted there long before the shooting ever occurred.
So Mr. Heroic President didn't take a bullet after all.
Hold it! That's not true! I was shot, I tell you!
We'll be able to verify that for ourselves once we take a closer look at the bullet.
And keep in mind, his popularity, the president's popularity was waning. It was in the toilet. So something like this was something to try to pump his credibility up. He was probably facing an election, but everybody thinks he's a total wuss. Let's find out.
At the very least, we can expect to find traces of Mr. Rook's blood on it, correct?
What you said to yourself? You found the shooter in a photograph, the person with the red hood.
Objection! I thought I made myself clear. The trajectory points to only one possible shooter, Mr. Knight.
Then where does Tabby fit into all this?
She doesn't.
She was simply one part of their plan. In order to place the suspicion elsewhere, they set about creating a fake assassin.
A highly suspicious person with the red hood!
I have yet to ascertain exactly how complicit Miss Lloyd was in the whole scheme. But I can say with some confidence that none of the shots were fired by her. I suspect her only job was to point a laser sight at the president.
That's right. Then I was...
Tasked with turning your jacket inside out the moment the crowd flew into a panic, yes. Thus, making the mysterious red-hooded shooter disappear in the blink of an eye. Then, when the gun and the security plan were later found in the trash can, it would have all appeared to have been the work of an assassin so skilled they could vanish into thin air.
But then the case would have gone cold.
Exactly what our friends here were hoping for.
Makes sense now why they wanted you off the case.
Indeed, because the entire affair was a cheap ruse perpetrated by the president himself.
And notice how his muscles deflated. Oh no!
Oh boy.
Oh, he's a fat guy now. Oh boy.
The presidential mask has well and truly slipped. Admit it. The entire assassination was a lie, wasn't it?
If that stupid chief prosecutor hadn't insisted on assigning you... how can I let this happen?
Objection! Objection. That's enough, Edgeworth.
Mr. Knight!
Sorry, but I'm speaking with the president right now.
Click, click, click. Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, I'm doing my job as a knight and protecting my king. So go ahead. Keep running your mouth.
Perhaps it would be better if we stuck to threatening each other with words?
He wouldn't, would he?
Nah, I don't need this thing to shut you up. All right, my move. Question. You claim I fired my gun from on stage. How do you figure I did that in front of a crowd of thousands?
An excellent point. Time for my counter move, I suppose.
Because check it out, kids. What's hidden behind that suitcase?
One of the
hand.
gun.
His hand.
You had a certain something that allowed you to conceal your actions.
A certain something, huh? Mighty specific.
What did Knight use? What did Knight use to hide his actions from the crowd?
Ding, ding,
He
ding.
used the attack.
My attaché case.
Yes. Take a look at Kay's photograph.
Because every time we do, it makes us laugh.
Your right hand is completely obscured by the case. At the very moment this picture was taken, you were firing your gun. And in such a way that you wouldn't be detected.
Objection. You don't like to let the facts get in the way of a good theory, do you, Edgeworth? Shame you don't seem to have noticed.
Noticed what?
That theories are all you have. Conjectures, nothing more. The flag was billowing in the wind at precisely the right moment. I hid my gun with my attaché case. We changed the security plan because I couldn't turn my head. It's all just speculation. Circumstantial evidence at best. You can't prove any of it. Ugh. If you at least had the bullet that burst the balloon, you might have a scrap of credibility. Imagine, you could have run forensics to see if it matched my gun. But no, that bullet is at the bottom of the lake. You gonna dredge it up?
I hate to say it, but he's right. I don't have anything concrete.
I thought not. Maybe now you can shut your mouth.
Hold it.
Hold it.
Ms. Lloyd. Of course, she could shed some light on this whole situation. I just need to get her to talk.
What's the matter? Something you want to say, Miss Journalist?
No, never mind.
That's what I thought.
Miss Lloyd! I need you to be brave. If you don't speak up, the truth will be lost forever. You are a journalist, after all, are you not?
Dang it. I can't stay quiet any longer.
Hey, you understand what you're doing, right? I'd think carefully before opening that mouth of yours.
I was so focused on bagging me a scoop, I forgot the most important thing of all. Real journalists don't lie. Ain't no dang scoop if it ain't the truth. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I should have showed you this before.
What is it?
It's the laser pointer I used on the president. But that's all I've done. I never shot nobody.
You stupid! I thought I told you. You squeal and you go down as an accomplice.
It was him. He told me to do it. I was at Zheng Fa's embassy sniffing out a story like I told you. This was 3 days back. He comes up to me out of the blue, just starts talking. Help me out and I'll get you exclusive access to the president. That kind of stuff.
What about the gun in the trash can?
That I don't know nothing about, I swear it. All he told me was to wear a jacket with a red hood and to point that there pointer at the president. I never thought for a minute it'd blow up in my face so bad. I'm sorry, truly I am.
Thank you, Miss Lloyd. I'd like you to testify to that effect when this goes to trial. It ought to go a long way towards proving that the assassination was a sham.
What is wrong with you people? Don't any of you know what's good for you?
My sympathies, Mr. Knight. Had you successfully removed me from this case as you'd intended, perhaps then you could have kept your pawn quiet, hmm?
So let me get this straight. You told Tabby, if you let slip about our fake assassination plot, we'll have you convicted for murder. Or something like that?
Of all the dirty...
I said no such thing.
Hold it.
Hold it!
President Wang?
Give it up, Knight. It's time we came clean. It's our only choice.
So, Mr. President, you admit it. You admit that there was a plot to fake an assassination attempt?
I do. I'm sorry.
But why? Why do something like that?
My popularity has been on the wane back home. I thought surviving an attempt on my life might give me the boost I needed. I know what we did was wrong, so yes, it was all lies, all of it.
And the bullet in the vest?
It was planted ahead of time. I wasn't hit by anything today.
Bulletproof vest data updated in my organizer. A prompt used in a staged assassination attempt. The flattened bullet was also planted ahead of time.
But then, what was up with DeKiller?
The plan got out somehow. And then he just appeared, hell-bent on turning our fake assassination into a real one.
Hence the red raincoat, I suppose. He'd hoped to get in close enough as a fake assassin to finish the job.
There is one thing I don't understand, though.
Oh? And what would that be?
Why did Rook have to die?
Indeed. Why shoot Rook?
If the whole thing was fake, how did he wind up getting killed for real?
That's true, and therein lies the real question.
He was a fine bodyguard, the best in fact. He may not have been a native of Zheng Fa, but he was someone I could fully trust.
Mr. Rook must have been really something to gain the trust of someone who'd hide from his own shadow.
Sounds like he was as trustworthy to the president as I am to you, huh, sir?
I believe that's for me to say, Detective. I believe that's for me to say, Detective, not you. Mr. Rook must have known about the plan too then, correct?
He wasn't aware of any specific details, so not really. I tried to involve him, but he refused.
And you would have done well to listen to him.
This is a tragedy. The life of a good man has been wasted.
What was so great about him anyway?
What's gotten into him?
He was just another piece on the board, there to protect you, nothing more.
Mr. Knight, how could you?
Who was it that actually went along? Who was it that actually went along with your plan, huh, Mr. President? While that pious coward backed down when you needed him to step up the most.
I value your support too, of course, but...
Look, I'm your chief bodyguard now. That's all that matters. And now that that spineless fool Rook is gone, things are gonna change around here. Thanks to me, genius strategist, grandmaster, rightful leader of this team.
We're all well aware of your ambitions, Knight. But doesn't this seem a little imprudent to you?
Why? My plan this time was perfect, as they always are, and as they always will be.
That's quite a statement. Especially considering that your perfect plan was an abject failure.
Yeah, no thanks to you and that buffoon Rook.
And how exactly was it Mr. Rook's fault?
If he hadn't died, DeKiller would have never come after me. And I wouldn't have had to let you on this plane.
Please, Mr. Knight, you mustn't talk like that.
Fine. The guy died protecting you, Mr. President. I'm sure that's just what he always wanted.
But did he die protecting the president?
Wait! I thought the whole assassination thing was a fake!
Oh, come on. Do I have to say everything twice? We planned a fake assassination, but somebody else came along and tried to make it real. 2 shots were fired, remember? Like you said, Edgeworth, one of them was the bullet I shot through that balloon. But the second, that wasn't me.
Oh, really? Then who did fire it?
The real assassin, but not the killer. His plan was to come after the president with a knife. No, the most likely suspect here is the piece cowering quietly in the corner.
He's still gonna try to roll Tabby under the bus? That prick.
Our lily white queen over there.
What?
Ms. Lloyd?
Again with this? I'm not your danged assassin.
But is that really true? I, for one, don't believe it. The gun in the trash can, it can only belong to you.
Okay. Knight's Gambit.
As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort the president back onto the plane. I left Rook here in this room while I secured the president in the safe room. When I came back out, Rook was lying there on the ground. Ms. Journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can.
Wait a minute. Single?
Single?
But 2 shots were fired. But 2 shots were fired from that gun, remember?
Yep. So you don't...
So you don't actually know when the victim was struck by the bullet, do you?
The knight doesn't protect the Rook, Edgeworth. He protects the king.
You want to translate?
He means that his only concern was protecting the president.
Lose the king and you lose the game. Isn't that the first rule of chess?
But a win in which a key piece is sacrificed is a hollow victory indeed.
Doesn't matter. It's still a victory. I kept the president safe. I win.
Well, it's a bit early to be calling our little match in any case, for this is where our battle really begins.
Oh my God, really? Now keep in mind, the president said that she shot the bullet outside of the plane. Well, that's still true. Never mind. As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort. Hold on. As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort the president back onto the plane. I left Rook here in this room while I secured the president in the safe room. When I came back out, Rook was lying there on the ground. This journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can. Well, it says here 2 spent bullets, same model as the victims.
Objection!
That's just like we told you.
So you contend that it was you who shot the balloon and Ms. Lloyd who shot Mr. Rook? Are you sure about that?
Sure, I'm sure.
While what you propose would indeed match up with the total number of shots heard, the gun from the trash can itself has also been fired twice. Now, why would the supposed excuse me. Now, why would the supposed number of shots heard from this gun differ from the number of spent rounds? It's simple, because it was planted by the real perpetrator of the crime.
Somebody faked the evidence?
Yes, and if you think about it, their reason for doing so is obvious. To ensure that whoever found the gun would conclude that the shooter had been in the spectator area. And in order to do that, they had to make it seem as if both shots had come from this one weapon.
I get it. So that's why it's got 2 spent rounds, huh?
Precisely. As we have already proven, the bullet that burst the balloon came from a different weapon, which makes it entirely possible that the bullet which killed Mr. Rook didn't come from this gun either.
Nice work, Edgeworth. That's some high-grade sleuthing. But why don't you get to the point? You've come this far, spit it out.
Oh, I intend to. Don't worry. The person who really shot Mr. Rook was you, Mr. Knight.
Take that!
You, Mr. Knight, you're the one who murdered Mr. Rook.
Oh, finally got up the courage to say it, huh?
Surely not. Surely you wouldn't have.
It wasn't only DeKiller who tried to take advantage of this fake murder plot. You killed Mr. Rook, hoping that he would look like an accidental victim of the bungled assassination. With the president locked away in the safe room and the door of the airplane tightly closed, it was just you and Mr. Rook, alone, together. And that was when the 3rd bullet was fired, right into your colleague's body.
Objection. Wait, you're really gonna claim there's a 3rd one now? You just said only 2 gunshots were heard. Wanna tell me how that works?
Objection! Airplane cabins are practically soundproof, Mr. Knight. If you close the door, nothing can be heard from the outside, not even gunfire.
But wasn't the president right next door?
Very true, which means he may have heard the shot himself. Well, Mr. President?
I didn't hear anything.
But you can observe this room through your security feed, can you not?
The camera in this room isn't normally on. I have to manually switch it on when I enter the safe room.
And that's what you did this time too, right?
Nope. He probably was instructed not to.
Well, that is...
What's gotten into him? Mr. President, this is vitally important.
Please, President Wang!
Fine. I was busy hiding under the bed, covering my ears.
What? Even though you knew the whole thing wasn't real?
Yes, because I hate the sound of guns. Just the slightest hint of that awful noise and, oh, it's just too much.
What the hell?
Oof, that there sat her in a pot of overcooked crawfish.
Mr. Knight, you saw that President Wang was cowering beneath the bed. And what's more, you knew from the monitor bank that the security camera for this room hadn't been switched on. Which means you knew that the circumstances were perfect for you to fire the third shot straight at Mr. Rook.
Knight, how could you? Could you really have betrayed my trust so horribly?
You think I killed the old half-wit? You don't trust me much, huh? This is the thanks I get for putting my life on the... This is the thanks I get for putting my life on the line for you day after day.
I want to believe you, but...
I don't get it. I just don't get it. What is there to doubt here? What, you don't believe that the girl over there could have done it?
No, because this gun isn't the murder weapon. We know this from the number of bullets fired.
Yeah? Well, how do you know there wasn't a spent bullet from the start?
What?
Someone could have fired a bullet from that gun yesterday, or the day before. Then today, another bullet, the bullet that hit Rook. That's pure speculation, pal, and you know it. Maybe, but can you prove it's not true?
Not with any certainty, no.
You're nothing without conclusive proof, so come on. A single piece of evidence, straight through my heart. I dare you. Well, what are you waiting for?
There must be something. Wasn't there, Mr. Edgeworth? If we can't prove it, Tabby's... Please, Ruffles. I messed up. I know I did. I should have never have done what I did. Not even for Scoop. But murder? No, that ain't me. Ain't a murderous bone in my body.
Conclusive proof. If only I could prove that Knight's gun is the murder weapon. Wait, perhaps I can.
If you at least had the bullet that burst the balloon, you might have a scrap of credibility. Imagine, you could have run forensics to see if it matched my gun.
If we had the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, forensics could tell us which gun it was fired from.
No proof, no case. End of conversation.
Objection! Hold it right there!
What now? You're not about to claim you do have proof.
Of course I do.
This ought to be good. All right, bring it on. Show me this proof of yours.
The bullet that killed Mr. Rook is the key to ending our little game. Very well. My conclusive evidence is...
Not in my possession.
Not in my possession. Not currently in my possession.
All right then. Thanks for playing, folks, but that's game over.
However, it is here in this room.
What?
As we know, the bullet that killed Mr. Rook passed through his body. But where did it end its journey? Perhaps we should cast our minds back to an earlier conversation. Maybe it hit the monitor.
Oh.
After passing through his body, the bullet that took Mr. Rook's life then found itself lodged in the vest.
He's right. If the president hadn't been wearing that vest, things could have been a lot worse.
But now, of course, we know that the so-called assassination attempt was a complete fabrication. The vest was prepared in advance, made to look as if it had been hit by a bullet. Which begs the question, where is the real bullet?
It's in that stuffed animal. I like it. A twist. This is good stuff, Edgeworth. Come on then, don't keep us in suspense.
Does any of the evidence point to where the bullet that killed Mr. Rook might have ended up?
It sure does. Da 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 da.
3, 2, 1.
Take that.
Take that! There's something very clearly missing from this room.
Yes, a prosecutor with some common sense.
Take a look at the bank of security monitors.
Oh,
I see you've caught on, Mr. President. Splendid. There are screens here showing views from all around this airplane, inside and out. The only external angle not covered is the right-hand side of the aircraft. And that's because one of the monitors is missing. There was a monitor in that space previously, wasn't there, Mr. President?
there was. I have no idea what my plushie's doing there now, though.
It appears to be someone's vain attempt to hide what is obviously lacking. But where did it go, and why? The why is easy enough to answer, because it was struck by a bullet. For if we were to believe that the bullet in the vest was the real deal, then anything that hinted at the existence of another bullet had to be removed.
So, where did the missing monitor go?
It's probably under the trap door.
Where indeed, I believe that it must be hidden somewhere on this plane. After all, there wouldn't have been time to dispose of it outside the aircraft. Detective Gumshoe, conduct a search if you would.
Right away, sir.
Mr. President, extraterritoriality, remember?
I have no objection to the search. Please, go ahead. If it will help us discover the truth behind what happened to Rook, I will not stand in your way.
What are you? I don't believe this. Rook this, Rook that. Don't you ever think about anybody else?
The search has been authorized, Detective, if you wouldn't mind.
Sir, I found the monitor. Oh, and there's a hole in it.
Uh-huh. Excellent work. Now go ahead and extract the bullet.
Let's see. I put my hand in here and just... Come on. Got it.
Well, would you look at that? Blood. This is the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. There is no doubt about it. Bloody bullet data jotted down on my organizer, found inside a security monitor. This seems to be a bullet that killed Rook. Oh, and there you have it, Mr. Knight. The single piece of evidence you requested straight through your heart. Even you must now admit, if this bullet didn't come from the spectator area gun, then Ms. Lloyd cannot be Mr. Rook's killer. What? No pithy comeback? Detective, have forensics analyze the bullet for striations. The bullet for striations and compare them to the gun we found.
Yes, sir. We'll get the evidence you need. You can count on it. Here we go.
All right, let's hear what forensics has to say.
Our findings are as follows, sir. Firstly, the blood on the bullet is indeed that of the victim.
Proving that it was the bullet that killed Mr. Rook.
Hang on a second, though. It didn't come.
Wait a minute.
How much you want to bet it did not come from Rook's gun, from Knight's gun? Uh-oh. Secondly, we found Mr. Knight's fingerprints on the gun.
Probably from when I handed all the evidence over to him. Now for the key part. The striations. If they are not a match, then Miss Lloyd is in the clear.
Lastly, the striations on the bullet are a match with this weapon.
What? But how could that be?
No way! Oh, come on!
There's no doubt about it, sir. This is the gun that fired the bullet.
How?
Well, isn't that something? Conclusive proof that I was right. What's the matter? You didn't think you had me backed into a corner, did you? Guess you misread the board. Because the only one backed into a corner here is you.
Oh boy, here we go.
Last testimony.
Yep.
Now, granted, Knight's fingerprints were found on the gun, but maybe they were on there before the evidence was transferred. There's gotta be some way.
There's no denying it. Forensics proved that the gun and the bullet are a match. The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectator area. So who pulled the trigger? It can't have been me. I was up on stage. Which leaves your little friend. The hack killed Rook. She's the murderer, and you just proved it.
I don't think so.
Your move, Edgeworth. But just remember two things. One, where you found that gun. And two, which gun the fatal bullet came from. Whichever way you look at it, I can't have been the shooter.
Ugh. How did it come to this?
Me and the president, we admitted to faking the assassination attempt. Now it's your turn to admit something. Who the killer really is.
Oh, we'll get there, and it's not Tabby Lloyd.
There's no way Tabby did it. Is there?
Don't let him get to you, Kay. We just need to go over his statements again. There must be something further we can deduce from them.
Okay, let's do this, Mr. Edgeworth.
Okay, time for rebuttal. Let's get this bastard.
There's no denying it. Forensics proved that the gun and the bullet are a match.
Nice music.
Oh,
Hold it.
we're pressing him on it.
No, that's...
Objection. What was it you said? That forensics would back you up?
Ugh.
How does it feel to be shot in the chest by your own conclusive proof, huh? Not so good, I imagine.
The bullet and the gun are a match, Mr. Edgeworth. That kinda has to mean that Tabby pulled the trigger, no?
Nope. No.
Even so, I simply cannot accept that.
But, sir, there's no denying the evidence.
There isn't. So what am I missing? If I assume Ms. Lloyd to be innocent, then the gun and the bullet shouldn't be a match. What is it, Kay?
I was just thinking, if the evidence points to something that doesn't seem possible, then maybe there's something wrong with it.
You're asking me to call the evidence into question?
Well, there's no way Tabby did this, right? So if the evidence says that she did, then the problem must lie there.
You seem very sure about this.
Call it my great thief's intuition.
Intuition? Huh. Still, she could be right. I simply don't believe Miss Lloyd to be a malicious liar, which means... As someone who believes that evidence is everything in court, the irony is not lost on me. But if I were to call a piece of evidence into question, it would have to be...
Neither of them. No, the gun.
The gun. If something untoward is going on here, it would have to involve the weapon, not the bullet. After all, we've only just recovered the bullet a little while ago. Furthermore, we know that Mr. Knight had an opportunity to handle the gun.
Now hand over the evidence you have gathered and remove yourselves from this plane.
I'd do as he says if I were you, Edgeworth.
This can't really be the end of the line, can it? Indeed, he had ample opportunity. There's no doubt that this gun is the weapon that was used in the crime. Which means it must belong to...
Bronco Knight.
Take that!
The gun belongs to Mr. Knight. He switched them around. That has to be it. Mr. Knight's revolver data jotted down on my organizer. Switch for the one found in the spectator area. Bullet markings match those of the bullet fired in the incident.
And remember, there was a laser sight that Tabby Lloyd had, so he just... still. Let's just get to it.
The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectator area.
Nope.
Nope. What about this gun? Objection! Admit it! You switched the guns, didn't you, Mr. Knight? That's why the markings match the weapon in question. It was yours all along.
An intriguing move there, Edgeworth. And
You must have made the switch when I handed over the evidence. While I was busy trying to make the case for remaining on the investigation, you took the laser sight from the gun we found in the trash can and put it on your own. Then, not long afterwards, you handed that gun back to me instead of the one we found.
I did, huh? You'd think I somehow knew you'd find, let alone run forensics on that bullet sometime in the future?
Is that so strange? You're a chess player. You're a chess player after all. A man well used to thinking several moves ahead.
I'm flattered, but much as it pains me to admit it, you're overestimating my abilities. Besides, do you even have any proof that I made the switch?
Great.
Okay, time for a little more testimony. Knight's Counter, Part 2.
The gun is the same model as mine. Weird, sure, but it's just a coincidence. No, it's not. And look, there's a laser sight attached. Also, take a look in the cylinder. 2 spent bullets, just what we'd expect to see. So what proof do you have that I switched the original gun out for mine, huh? None. That's what.
You say I'm overestimating your abilities? You surprise me.
What can I say? I'm a modest guy. More modest than you, that's for sure. Everywhere except at the chessboard, that is.
Well, I don't see a chessboard here, do you?
Shame. Still, guess that gives you a nice excuse. I didn't mess up. I just didn't have the right evidence.
I don't think I'll be the one making excuses. Rather, I didn't mess up. They just got lucky with the evidence will be your excuse, I imagine.
All right, well, let's see what he says.
Okay, get this bastard.
Gun is the same model as mine. Weird, sure, but it's just a coincidence. And look, there's a laser sight attached. Also, take a look in the cylinder. 2 spent bullets, just what we'd expect to see. So what proof do you have that I switched the original gun out for mine, huh? None. That's what.
Oh, yes, I do. I have something. And that something is... Objection!
The gun itself again?
All right.
I have your proof right here.
That's your proof? I think you've been working too hard, Edgeworth.
Not the gun itself, the evidence it carries. Evidence that will prove, once and for all, that it does in fact belong to you. Yeah, look inside the chamber. Well, you already... 2 spent bullets in the cylinder, matching the 2 gunshots heard on the recording.
That proves it. This must be the weapon that was used. All right, look at this.
Go back.
What the hell's going on? What the hell? Let's just...
I'm looking forward to this. Go ahead, make your move. What's about to come into play? The rook? The bishop? Not a pawn, surely.
The evidence the gun will provide takes the form of bullet markings.
Either bullet markings or fingerprints.
Fingerprints. Namely, your fingerprints, Mr. Knight.
Objection. My prints? Pah, of course my prints are on the gun. You handed it right to me when you gave up the evidence. How could they not be on there?
Objection! What if I told you there are prints on a part of the gun that you shouldn't have touched at any point?
Oh, hold
Fingerprints
on
on the bullets.
No, fingerprint on the laser sight.
I don't even... Well, this is a laser sight.
It can be lined up with a target to make aiming a bit easier.
Yes, while that is certainly true, it also increases the risk of your target realizing that they're in your sights.
But I bet you wouldn't realize it if you were you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why? Because I'm wearing red, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. How'd you guess? Never mind. Let's just keep going.
What? Where? You can't prove that.
Oh, but I can. there is a place where your fingerprints could never have been left if things happened as you say. Allow me to present the final piece of evidence that will bring our game to its rightful conclusion. I check the chamber again.
Are you sure it's the chamber?
Yeah, because I think he swapped the fingerprints of the bullets. Here, look closely at the cylinder, Detective.
2 bullets fired, but where are the prints we're looking for, sir? I swear to God, it's...
Right there. You did indeed switch the guns when they handed you the evidence. But if that were all you had done, your deception would have been easily detected. Because the number of bullets fired by each gun was different.
There were 2 spent bullets in the gun we found.
Yeah, what about Mr. Knight's gun?
We know that he fired 2 bullets from the stage into the balloon. And he fired another bullet into Mr. Rook, ending his life. So 3 bullets in total, plus the few odd ones he let loose in shock during our little game.
Oh yeah, remember he was pulling bullets out of his gun.
And after each shot, he reloaded his gun out of habit. With his bare hands, of course. Officer, where exactly were Mr. Knight's fingerprints found? The ones you mentioned in your report.
Sir, they were found on the exterior of the weapon, but also on the bullets themselves.
I'm not sure they could have gotten there just from me handing you the evidence, Mr. Knight.
That's...
And there we have it. Proof that you did indeed switch the guns. This gun, the one which fired the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, is yours. And in taking his life, you are the true assassin. He's gonna lose it, folks.
I didn't.
Checkmate.
Look at all the...
All sorts of murder weapons fell on him.
Yeah, including some trinkets from the past.
I was gonna be the new chief of security. That blasted Rook. If it had been for him, I would have been in charge by now. I would have been in control of the whole team. My plan was perfect. The fake assassination was supposed to be flawless.
So we have his motive.
Detective Gumshoe.
Right away, sir.
Bronco Knight, you're under arrest.
Curse you, Edgeworth. Our game isn't over yet.
I'm afraid this is as far as we go for today. The next moves we play will be in the courtroom.
But it's not fair. It's not fair.
Bronco Knight, you're under arrest, pal. March 25th, 5:12 p.m. Gourd Lake, Lakeside Stage.
I guess he pumped himself back up.
Mr. Edgeworth, I owe you a debt of gratitude. You exposed a murderer within the ranks of my own personal guard. I will not soon forget that.
He's suddenly very presidential again now that we're back outside the plane.
I saw it, you know, when I first proposed the fake assassination to him.
You want me to handle it, not Rook?
Rook refused, but I can rely on you, can't I?
Of course, sir. You can count on me. I'll put together a plan that can't possibly fail. And he'll play his part like the pawn he is.
The hatred in his eyes was plain to see. He despised poor Rook. I was not entirely comfortable about moving forward with Knight in charge of our little deception. And looking back, I think he sensed my discomfort. I can't help thinking I played a part in his decision to end Rook's life.
Mr. President, none of this would have happened if you hadn't plotted to fake an attempt on your life. That was your crime, and it is a crime you will have to live with.
You are right. I can only apologize for the part I played. And I will not doubt be made to pay for my actions in one way or another. But I thank you nonetheless. You solved the riddle of Rook's demise, and for that, I shall be eternally grateful. I will be here in your country for a little while longer yet. But when I have returned home, perhaps you will visit us in Zheng Fa. You will always be welcome.
And there he goes.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all don't know how grateful I am. All's well that ends well.
Ms. Lloyd, the accusation of murder made against you was, of course, entirely groundless. But the fact remains that you were a willing participant in the staged assassination attempt. The police will no doubt wish to speak to you about the matter. You should be aware that you may well be punished for your actions.
I know, and I'm awful sorry about everything, truly I am.
I understand your desire for a scoop, but there are limits.
There sure are. I got me some serious thinking to do. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. That was something else. Local prosecutor Saul's assassination conundrum earns eternal gratitude of president. How's that for a headline? Hey, that there's my department. Mr. Prosecutor, how's it feel to solve such an important case? You must be over the moon.
She certainly doesn't stay down for long. No comment.
Dang, you're one tight-lipped son of a gun.
As well I should be. This case is not over yet.
It isn't? How come, sir?
Because until we unravel the story behind this, the case will never be completely over.
Could it be
Okay.
that calling card?
Take that!
Take that.
DeKiller's calling card.
Mr. DeKiller has yet to complete his assignment.
You mean he might still try to murder the president?
I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, this could all blow up into something more sinister yet. As one would expect with the attempted assassination of a president, the case was all over the news, and my preparations for Mr. Knight's trial were constantly interrupted by requests from the press. There wasn't a person in the land who didn't know about the case. Everybody was talking about it. But in the midst of the frenzy that followed, nobody noticed that this was only the first move in a game far bigger than any of us could have imagined.
And so we come to the end.
Fin!
Fiend.
Yep, that's the end of that case.
Obviously, we'll save our progress, yes.
'Cause you never know.
And okay,
Well-
so this is absolutely a perfect place to put a stop to everything. So when we return from our sojourn at I was going to say Soldier Field, but Lucas Oil Stadium, when we return next week on Wednesday, we will dig into episode 2, The Captive Turnabout. Ooh.
Or as in the fan, or according to the fan translation before this game was released, the imprisoned turnabout. But yeah, we'll call it the captive turnabout.
Interesting. What could this all mean? So, only one way to find out. Tune in next week. And until then,
Yeah, bud.
I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the package Andrew Steele,
We are the Steele Twins, and
we are for real.
real.
Top guys out.
Ciao.
Adios, muchacho.